Today I will be adding realistic details to my model airport. In the previous video I already added some details, namely a localizer antenna, taxiway signs, jet bridge advertisements and country flags. There were a lot of people who commented their nationality down below, whose flags I will add in the future. For today's video though, we'll be adding more advertising boards and a monorail to my model airport. So first, let's make the advertising board. I'm going to position 2 advertisements board next to the terminal. One on this grass field and one on a bigger grass field on the other side of the terminal. I'll place them next to the roads as that's where they are most frequently seen. Next, I designed this advertisement board in Fusion 360. You can download it via the link in the description to 3D print it yourself. It took about 1.5 hours to print each advertisement board frame. After the print was done, I removed the 3D print from the printer and I removed the supports in the middle of the advertisement board. And by removing the supports, I actually broke the advertisement board in half, so I had to glue them again. Next, I designed some advertisements myself in Photoshop and Canva. I then placed them in a Google document, and when you go to the 3 dots, click on size and rotation, you can change the size and rotation that it's going to be printed out with. I then printed all of the advertisements and neatly cut them out. I chose to add Dutch advertisements from Heineken, ING Bank and TUI Airways. Then I used a Pritt glue stick to glue all of the advertisements onto the frame. And after I applied them to the frame, I used a sharp knife to cut off the edges so it exactly fits onto the advertising board. After which, this is what it looks like. I was very happy because this was version 1 and the size was perfect. So if you want to make this yourself, click on the link below to go to the Thingiverse site. Then, using a hand drill, I drilled a small hole in the base of my airport. This is wood, so you can easily drill a hole to fit in the advertising board. I wiggled it a bit to put it upright, and then this is what the end result looks like. Lovely advertising at the airport, if you ask me. When you're gonna make this yourself, and you're a bit handy with Photoshop, you can of course create any advertisement you like. I created another advertisement board on the other side of the terminal and I used McDonald's, Heineken and Transavia advertisements there. And with the advertisement board finished, we can check them off the list and move on to the next element, which is adding a monorail. I designed and 3D printed some track and pillars of the monorail. Online I also found a 3D model of a monorail train, which I also printed and scaled to the right size so it fits on the track. And then after I printed everything, I colored the monorail in a blue color. Coloring a 3D print is easily done with paint pens. I use Yanni Posca paint pens for this, and this is what the monorail looks like after it had been painted. I also painted the top of the rails black, after which I connected all the rails using super glue and I glued them on the pillars. Hereby it was important that the tracks lined up. Otherwise the monorail won't ride smoothly over the rail and it will derail eventually. To make sure they perfectly lined up, I used some sanding paper to smoothen the connection bit to make them connect seamlessly, and the train ran over it quite smoothly. Though in reality, when it's on the airport, the train will never run and it will always stand still, but it's just for the idea. I then connected all of the pillars with the rail, which resulted in this about 50 centimeters long rail. I put this on the airport to see whether it looks good, and the size was great, the height of the monorail was perfect. The only thing that could be better is the color. I have this spray paint which is light gray, which I'm going to use to paint the rail and the pillars. Then I also designed some curved track, which I'm going to use to make the track run from and to the terminal. I also printed a small tunnel where the train enters and leaves the terminal. And even though the terminal is a bit angled and the tunnel doesn't precisely fit on the terminal, I super glued it to the roof. and because this is the back of the terminal, you will not see it, which is the reason I left it like this. I then installed the monorail on the airport, and the size was absolutely perfect. I connected the other end like this to the large terminal. If you have any ideas on how to make it connect more neatly, be sure to let me know your idea in the comments, because I'd love to improve this design, which in the end looks like this. In my opinion, it looks great and it serves its purpose, but I could add more details. If you have any idea what those details could be, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know your ideas. And with the monorail being done, that brings us to the end of the video, where today I showed you how I created advertisement boards and a monorail on my model airport. I would like to thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you have any ideas on what I could add to my airport to add more realism, let me know in the comments and I will add that next episode. Please consider to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then I will see you in the next video.